So, second chapter, 41st shloka. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana bahushakahi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayina. Those who are resolute in this path, those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. So very important shloka. Generally we see, and you give anybody some half an hour time free. Sometimes when we were small children, we get a vacation. Suddenly something happens and now holiday is there. And then we don't know what to do. Nowadays, so many more activities are there. And or just like people open TV, one channel, another channel, another channel. And Bahushaka, there is no end. We all have an experience. There is no end. And neither there is a satisfaction. That is material life. Not only that, people are trying to, unite people in so many ways. But still, they cannot find one. Bahu, everybody has 1,000 plans. Can we find one plan on which a family can be united? One, ekehe. One plan on which the whole country can be united, whole humanity can be united, or all the living entities, the whole existence, whole cosmos can be united. That is Krishna consciousness. There is no Bahu, there is one. Not only individually, first thing is individually. Just like it is all agreed, even in any mind control class, people say we should have one fixed goal, and that is our mind. Our mind can do one thing at a time. We should be fixed on it. Many of us feel when we go to college and all, school's time, it is not so restless. Children generally means restless also. You cannot make them sit in one place. They become very restless. So that is our nature. We are very, very restless. That is material life. When Prahlad Maharaj was a small child, 5-year-old, his friends used to call him, why don't you come and play? He never went. Fixed. Ekeha kuru nandana. You want to play means what do you play? No, you play with this toy, you want to play with that toy, there is no end to it. Material energy is like that. Moment you look at it, just waiting. There is no end to the Bahushaka Yanantasya Buddhaya Avasayina. So those people who have fixed this determination, yes, I will serve Krishna, there is complete satisfaction. Therefore, he does not go any other place. Otherwise, bhoga tyaga, bhoga tyaga, bhoga tyaga. You try this, it's not working, I'll not work out. I try this, it is also disgusting. I try this is also disgusting. And mind has no limit. Those who are fixed, Prabhupada is explaining in the purport later, it just doesn't mean it should show by effect. We understand the first teaching of Bhagavad Gita is that we are not body, we are spirit, soul. All the fruitive activities means which have some phala for me, fruit, correct? Which gives some fruit to the body and mind. Or on the material plane. Completely person is free from material concepts. Therefore, I have underlined that line here. You see, the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renunciation of material conception of life. Material conception is illusory. You cannot see him working on that platform at all because he has come to Krishna consciousness now. Okay? So it is not just theoretical, it is practical. In the beginning stage, as you say, a person, take a normal man, let us see different stages now. He will be driven. Therefore, we always say the famous shloka, That a person who has taken to Krishna consciousness, all the good qualities, person who doesn't have Krishna consciousness cannot have any qualities. Who knows this shloka? Hara abhaktasya kuto mahadguna. Hara kuto manoratena satita. Yasyas bhakti bhagavati akinchana sarve gune tatra samasate suraha. Somebody who has taken devotion to the Lord, bhagavati akinchana, sarve gune, all the qualities will manifest. Why? Because that heart, the core of the heart is fully satisfied. Just like a glass is full, you cannot put anything in it. Because our heart is empty, therefore we say morning sadhana should be, everybody should have. Very important. Heart is full. Then mind will not waver. But whose heart is empty, if somebody is not taking service to Krishna, that is called hara abhaktasya. Kuto mahad guna. What quality can I have? He cannot have any quality. Sometimes people say, I know one person, he's an atheist, but he has nice qualities. Not possible. Not possible. Hara abhaktasya kuto mahad guna. Shloka is Shastra is saying. Why? Manorathena sati dhavato bahi. He is being dragged by his mind. And mind dragging means bahushaka. Mind doesn't have one program. And neither you can have one because it doesn't satisfy. It does not satisfy. Correct? So one-pointed devotion is possible only to Krishna. Even to Devatas it is not possible. Why? Because they cannot satisfy you. Devata can give you kama sata hita jnana, isn't it? You know this word? Kama sata hita jnana. Bhagavad Gita. Kama sata hita jnana. It says the hita jnana, when person's mind is stolen by intense material desires, he looks for so-called gods. You know, nowadays India is a breeding ground for gods, no shortage of them. And people, even though there is no divinity, nothing, no Shastra support, still they hold on because that person can somehow satisfy some material desire. You know, sometimes they go to some, therefore we difference between God and demigod, just like Indra. Now general, our Hindu concept is so many gods. But actually Shastra doesn't say that, nowhere it says. They are demigod. They are iha devataha. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, iha devata. They are head in this world. Therefore, definition of God should never be as controller or Ishvara. Many people say, you are Ishvara, controller. Yes, you are Ishvara in your small room in the house. You are Ishvara in your whole house. Correct? And somebody may be Ishvara in Mangalore. But Parameshwara we are talking about nowadays. So many controllers are there. So devotee, the definition of God is always, as the Bhagavatam begins, Janmadhyasya, the source of the manifestation, which cannot be true. That is one. Controller, you can get confused. Because sometimes we may not know who is the ultimate controller. In Bhagavatam, Narada goes to Brahma, what we are reading in the morning, and he says, my dear father, I am a little bewildered. You seem to be so powerful because Brahma is extremely powerful. Even Narada is his Manasputra. From his heart he gave birth to Narada. Shiva came out from his anger. Shiva came out. We can't give birth to people like this. Brahma is extremely powerful. Super powerful person. So you say, my father looks like you are God. But at the same time I see always, he's holding mala, always they are chanting. On whom you are meditating? So Brahma then replies, my dear son, you are mistaken. I am not the Parameshwara. I am limited. In this world, material world, in this one universe, I am the controller. But beyond me, therefore there is a Leela, Krishna Leela. Krishna arranged that actually. All the Devatas came to test Krishna because they could not believe a small boy is our Vaikunthanatha who has come. Because you know that Krishna Leela begins when all the Devatas go and pray to Narayana to save the Bhumi. But when Krishna came, they could not detect him or they were doubtful, is this the Lord? Therefore, Indra came to test him by that Govardhan Leela. Brahma came to test him by the Brahma Vimohan Leela. He stole the coward boys. Even Shiva came to fight with him. That is the Leela of Banasura. All the Devatas came. How is it possible that small boy holding butter in his hand is the Supreme Lord? It's not easy. But Prabhupada says the residents of Vrindavan never tested Krishna. Yashoda mother never tested Krishna. They are even ahead of that. They simply loved Krishna. In fact, it is said, you cannot understand God. Even He cannot understand Himself. He is so great. What we should try is, we should try to love Him. But at the same time, as much He is explained in Gita Bhagavata, that much is enough. Then try to love Him. And then all the Divya Jnana will be revealed more and more. Otherwise, if you try to understand, how is it possible that Krishna came into the heart of Vasudeva, then he came into the heart of Devaki, then he came out. This is the birth of Krishna, not like our birth. And when he came out, he was holding Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, and he was 7 foot tall with all the ornaments. If you try to understand, you will never be able to understand with all your logic. Impossible. As much Krishna explains, that much enough. Actually, that should be approach the residents of Vrindavan. Like Devatas, let us not try to test Krishna. Let us try to, like residents of Vrindavan. In fact, they are very advanced. We are not in that condition. Every day, when Krishna lifted Govardhana, Mother Yashoda never agreed Krishna lifted. Maybe that Nanda Maharaj stick would have done it. The small boy, what will he do? They are in another platform. We cannot imitate that platform, but we can appreciate that platform. Even in the prayers of which Bhagavatam we always read on Krishna's Janmashtami, that is Kunti Stuti. One of the beauty in Bhagavatam is Kunti Stuti. In the first khanda of Bhagavatam, Kunti's prayers to Krishna. So in that she says, Bhaya eva bhibeti. That even fear personified is scared of Krishna. What is the shloka? Bhayam api bhibeti. Nobody knows the shloka. Sridhara, where is Sujesh? Kunti Stuti, nobody remembers. So she says that I am so much bewildered. In fact, whole Kartik month, we sing set of 8 prayers just meditating on this point, one point, that Krishna is so great that even Devatas are scared of disobeying Him. Correct? All are scared. If Krishna has given an Adesha, they all have to follow. They are scared to disobey Him. It's so powerful. All the Devatas are holding Krishna's order and obeying Him. But Mother Yashoda was holding a stick, and Krishna was shaking in fear, and tears were rolling down his eyes. And looking at Mother, please forgive me. Just on that, in Padma Purana, 8 stanzas are written. Just on this, only this meditation. And the devotees are praying, I don't want anything. I can just hold this face of Krishna. And Prabhupada said that is the beauty of Krishna. He's so great that he gets conquered by the love of his devotees. That is another greatness of Krishna. Correct? It adds to his greatness. Any personality, when he is moved by pure love, he becomes great. True? That's why in movies, when they want to show hero is great, one of the things, small child is there and he will be affectionate with him. Just like at home also it happens, grandparents are there, small children sit on their back, they beat them. They love it. So Krishna also likes to be controlled by his devotees, by exalted. But this privilege is not for everybody. Exalted devotees. Nanda Maharaj says to Krishna, bring my slippers. And Krishna is so small form at that, in that small form, he's holding on his head, can't even walk, so heavy the slippers. So pure devotees have that privilege. That is very high. Our condition is first in the preliminary stages, when you're not in Krishna consciousness, Bahu Shaka. Millions of desires are dragging us. The example is given like a man has 6 wives. And he comes home, all are dragging him. You come to my room, you come to my room. What is his condition? Just imagine. So mind is one sense and the 5 senses, the 6 senses. Mano Shashtani Indriyani Prakritisthani Karasati. What is the shloka? Mameva amsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manah shashtani indriyani prakriti-sthani karshati. Krishna says, Mamev amsha. Just like a mother says, no? When mother sees a child, always what is the feeling? He is part of my body. That feeling is there or not? It's part, some kind of unity is feel, correct? He is part of my body. Only mother cannot become. So I'm asking about. So anyway, so that is a feeling always. Even my mother tells me, you are part of my body. You know, that feeling is always there. But actually that feeling is illusory, because what is part of your body, that is not him, that is Atma. Correct? Krishna, when he says Mamaev Amsha, it is not to the body, which is the Panchadhatu. Correct? Which is not the person. When Krishna says Mamaev Amsha, it is for the soul. Mamaev Amsha. What is the shloka? Mamaev Amsha Jiva Loke, in this world, material world. Jiva Bhuta, that is the Jiva. Jiva and Anu Vibhu. Jiva is Anu. Madhvacharya always refers Jiva as Anu. Mave Amsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta. Jiva Bhuta means completely material consciousness. Sanatanaha, he is eternal. It is not temporary. Body is temporary. When mother says this is part of my body, she is referring to temporary body. Correct? I am not denying mother's love. It is a reflection of Krishna's love. Mave Amsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, eternal. The soul is eternally part of Krishna. Eternally. Relationship is eternal. Mother relationship is this life. But soul relationship is eternal. The Krishna feels. It is one of the greatest qualities of Krishna. Prabhupada says Krishna has various qualities. Last Sunday I was telling. The greatest qualities of Krishna is compassion for the people who are there in this world. That is one of his greatest qualities. He is always thinking how to save these people. That is Krishna's greatest quality. So Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. See, in this shloka, Krishna expresses his act. Mana Shashtani Indriyani, by the six senses, including the mind, Prakriti-sthani Karshati. Karshati means struggling. Very Karshati. Kashta. Kannada we have Kashta. So much struggle is going on. Why? Because the six senses, like six wives, are dragging us all around the place. You know, somebody is holding the head, somebody is holding and somebody is dragging his stomach, or he is going mad. Doesn't know where to go. So therefore this shloka then explains Vavasayatmika Buddhi. Many times people say this problem is there, this problem is. What do we say? Chant Hare Krishna. No? Chant Krishna Nama. We always say. You know, doctors also, sometimes people go to doctor. You know, doctor, eyes are yellow, fever is also there, this is there, diarrhea is also there, headache is there. Doctor has seen yellow eyes. By one or two symptoms, he understood the problem. Already his treatment is ready. Sometimes you speak for 1 hour, it's waste of time for doctor. He's understood what is the problem. So similarly in the material world, we have understood the problem. Problem is, Manaha Shashtani Indriyani Prakriti-sthani Karshati. We are struggling, being dragged by the six senses. You know, sometimes people say I have some problem and the 2 hours go, Problem is only one. He's stuck in the material plane. In material plane, the mind can produce million varieties. It will never end. Never end. Unless you come to Krishna consciousness, you cannot be peaceful. Okay? So that is the platform. So that is one platform. Then after that, we come to Krishna consciousness. And in the beginning of Krishna consciousness also duality comes, in the sense of I'll do, I'll not do. Chant Hare Krishna. You want to chant Hare Krishna, but mind is dragging us. There is a battle going on. That in a material plane and want to come to Krishna consciousness, there is a constant battle going on. I should eat. No, I should not eat. This is not prasadam. I should not eat. No, I will eat. No, you cannot. Battle. You are thinking about this. No, I should not think about this. So we go through this stage. Dvanda. So there also there is no peace of mind. Vyavasayatmika buddhi has not come. Vyavasayatmika buddhi means the dvanda should not be there. One or two is there. Then when you come to Krishna consciousness, It is absolute. No dvanda should occur. Therefore, when you nicely chant Harinama, everybody can feel. But nicely means, don't mind my correcting, my duty. Okay? We should not loudly shout because Krishna will get frightened. What happened? Sweetly. Prabhupada used to say, Preeti Purvakam, with the love. We should love. Love we should say. And everybody is, the leader is singer, somebody leads it, and everybody should be able to hear everybody's sound. Correct? We're feelingly addressing Krishna. Krishna is. So the whole process is actually love. We are expressing by chanting. Now what happens is that, so when we come anytime, even by holy name, Kirtan, what happens after that? Mind becomes calm. No dvanda. Now you chant, it's like that. You read, you feel so nectarian, correct? When the mind is purified, it becomes like no dvanda, absolute. And then now another platform comes. Now we have so much service to do to Krishna. Which one to do? What best way I can do which is very pleasing to Krishna? That we should go to Guru. Just like now, we are not a good example of that, but we have our Acharya Srila Prabhupada. When he was 25-year-old, which is not a big age, he was already married. And one of his friends told, a great saint has come to Calcutta. Why don't you go in here? So Prabhupada says, see, my father was so religious. He used to keep bringing home sadhus every day practically and feed them nice lunch. Previously it was a culture, bhiksha to give. Every day he used to bring. Prabhupada's father. What is Prabhupada's father's name? Who knows? God, Mohan, Dev. So then what happens, he bringing every day, and he used to always ask Prabhupada's father that please bless my son. I want to become a great servant of Radharani. Please give him Ashirvad. Everyone. But there we have respect, but there is discrimination also in spiritual life. We are not blind. So Prabhupada was not very satisfied, because most of the people, even were asking sometimes bhang to his father, some sadhus. There are some places in North India particularly, bhang taking by sadhus is very common. It is like a food only. It is not considered abnormal if a sadhu has bhang. It's quite common. And Prabhupada's father was so innocent, he used to give that also sometime. One place Prabhupada says, my father was so innocent. So he said, this was the situation. So he was not very, keen to meet. He said, I'm fed up. So many I've seen. He said, no, you should come. You should see this personality. So Prabhupada goes. And the moment they enter, because they are trained in Vaishnava culture, like in South India generally people are, moment they see a saint, sannyasi, immediately he pays dandavat, obeisance when entering. So Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, he was a great acharya. He, at the time of British rule in India, had 64 mathas all around India. In fact, there were many occasions that he has even instructed them and even scolded them. He was very like a lion acharya. He used to speak the truth with such force, uncompromising. And he was known therefore as a lion acharya. Very strong words. Truth is truth, doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani. Because many times their attempt was to defile Indian culture. It was strong. And he must be preaching, imagine, strongly to build 64 mathas and 10,000 disciples in India. Very powerful Acharya, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. And not only that, he, spending his own money, sent his disciples around the world to preach. Particularly, he sent the disciples to England, because that time England was number one. Later, America came. After the World War, America became number one. Correct? Previously, British was number one. He sent disciples, established center in England also. We will spread this Gita message all around. Very vigorous preacher. He had a daily newspaper. In fact, once one politician asked to Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, daily newspaper? Newspaper. Do you have that much content to print? Daily newspaper means people do not think. So Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said, a very simple example. He says, Calcutta is a small part of India. India is a small part of Earth planet. Earth is so small in this whole cosmos. And like this universe, there are billions of universes, and all the material universes combined together is Ek Pada, 1/4 of Krishna's energy, 3/4 of Krishna's energy in the spiritual world. Just like in Mangalore, we have a jail. Now, are most of the people inside the jail or outside the jail? Outside the jail. Okay? Similarly, all the living entity in the material world are insignificant compared to people who are in Vaikuntha who are dancing with Krishna. We are few foolish, rebellious souls put into reformation, rehabilitation. So many words we can say here. So he says Vaikuntha is so big, so wonderful, that every second a newspaper can be printed, but we don't have enough customers. So I'm printing once in a month, once in a day. Imagine that vigor he had. He had a day, even now we don't have. We have such a large ISKCON movement, we have not the courage to print daily newspaper. Acharya was printing daily newspaper. So when he saw Prabhupada entering, immediately, when Prabhupada obeisance, he got up. Before even he sat up, young person like you should spread message of Gita all around the world. Prabhupada was like an order given. Even not seen his face eye to eye, shocked. But whole life he dedicated to fulfill that order. That is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. In fact, in the beginning he thought, I am a grahastha. So he had a good business, I have some money. Maybe by this money I can spread the mission of my Guru. I can. Sannyasis are like beggars roaming. I have some money, I can do it. Did not happen. Whatever he was saving, he was printing, he was writing magazines, distributing man to man practically. Mission did not launch. His 25 years, he has become 65 years. 40 years trying to fulfill one order of the Acharya. Spread the mission of Gita all around the world. Next what happened is he became 65-year-old. In Calcutta he met a person one day. He used to daily go for a walk, just chanting. So one person came. This is when he was in Calcutta. Exact age you have to calculate now. I think may not be 65 now. Because in 55 he has gone to Vrindavan. Before 55 year age. So he is in Calcutta and walking, one person later recounts. So he met Prabhupada. He said, Swamiji, what is the plan? What do you want to do in life? He said, my Guru has given you a very difficult order. I'm thinking how to fulfill it. This is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. He had no success from 25 years to 70 years, zero success. This is called Vyavasaya. You open a business, 1 year, 2 year loss, 3 year loss, you close the business. 45 years full loss. He did not close the business. When he was in Vrindavan now, finally he took sannyas, he came to Vrindavan. And he is sitting in Vrindavan and he is trying. Whoever comes to him in Vrindavan, he wrote books now, he preparing himself, not that he is not doing anything, but he knows from India it will not be launched, he has tried enough. He went to so many people. Swamiji, what is the use of all this, spreading Gita message? Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. He is fixed on what Guru has done. I will fulfill that. And then what happened one day, every person used to come to him, he used to say, I have tried enough from India. Somehow Indians have lost confidence in themselves. They are thinking these things are not very important. Let me try from the West. They want to imitate the Western world. I will start from West itself. And when they see Western people taking to Krishna consciousness, maybe they will imitate that also. I'll bring them. Now you want to anyway imitate this also. So anyway, that was the tradition that time. So he used to ask every person, can you help me to go to America? He doesn't have 1 rupee with him. He's a sannyasi now. And people used to say, yeah, Swamiji, I'll help you. And nothing happened. One person came, his name was Agarwal. Agarwal is generally, I think, Baniyas of North India. And he had a son in America called Gopal Agarwal. He said, Swamiji, I'll help you. He thought another person like 100 I have told. Because he was in Vrindavan, people come for darshan, he used to talk to them. He was in Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan. When you go to Vrindavan now, we see one of the temple, Radha Damodar. He had a room there. He was writing books. He was famous for writing books. He had many books written already. Now what happened? This person organized. And how to go? No money. He went on a cargo ship. This is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Now he went to America, turn left or right, no money on top of it. No support, nothing. Still continued. In fact, for the first 2 years, he used to tell, people used to say, yes, Swamiji, why you have come to a country? So Prabhupada would say, I come to a country because my Guru ordered me. Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, no two things, sir. I have not come to, he told, I have not come for sightseeing because most of the people go to America for sightseeing. No, I have come because my Guru ordered. And what is the Guru's order? I have to spread the message of Bhagavad Gita. So what is the message of Bhagavad Gita? He said, yes, it's all the message of Bhagavad Gita, but you should give up, if you want to understand, you have to give up drinking, you have to give up smoking, you have to give up, people will run away because these things are impossible there. He did not change. Many people told, Swamiji, you make it a little relaxed because it's very difficult. He said, no, it will not work. If I change, the process will not work. It took some time, but then finally. So this is how we can take a small example, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, the example of a great Acharya. And we need ideals like that to follow. And what happens is that great Acharyas have left so many desires. In fact, Yamunacharya, there are different Acharyas. There is one parampara is Madhva. There is another great parampara called Ramanuja parampara. Tirupati temple and all that. Their tilak is like big tilak they put like Tirupati Balaji is it. And in one of their acharyas are called Nam Alvar. They have alvars, 12 alvars which came from Vaikuntha. And one of the chief among them is called Nam Alvar. And he in his Bhavishyavani, he writes, what am I seeing now? This is Kali Yuga, but nobody is going to Naraka. Yamaraj is without any work only. All people are chanting Harinama and dancing. This is his, desire or his vision. So if he can fulfill, you take a vision of a pure Acharya like this, and if he can fulfill that, that is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. It will be complete satisfaction. In fact, Krishna's desires we cannot know directly. Now we see, we have gone third level now. First level I was where the Dandva is going on between different material desires. Rather one sinful desire to another sinful desire. We are jumping from one pit to another pit. All pit stinking only. After that we come to know, let me serve Krishna. Then the Dvanda between, should I serve Krishna or should I do material energy? That Dvanda. Should I chant or I should not chant? Should I drink? I should not drink. That is one Dvanda. Then when we come to Krishna's shelter, then again there is a variety. I can do so many ways I can serve Krishna. Correct? Any way you serve it is good, but over a period of time, one desire of Krishna, the mind becomes fixed. Correct? That we should pick up the desire of the Acharya and dedicate our life to fulfill the desire of the Acharya. Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, fixed. So much fixed that when movement started in America, just like we have a small gathering now, there used to be kirtan and some people are coming. Prabhupada suddenly had a heart attack. And he thought now he's not going to live because already he was 70 plus. So he told, put the picture of my Guru in front. He used to look at the picture every day. He was on the bed. He was praying to the Guru, I am not able to fulfill your mission. Then he told the disciples, all of you, he has just 3-4 centers at that time. Please pray to Narasimha Deva. Narasimha Deva is for Vaishnava as a protector. Please pray to Narasimha Deva. He is the form for protection. Please pray to Narasimha Deva that our master has not finished his work. If you so desire. Therefore, whenever we ask Krishna, we should put this line before, if you so desire. Don't put a demand without that. Because Krishna's prerogative should not be cancelled. Correct? Not that force Krishna. No, please let him stay. No, cannot ask like that. If you so desire. Therefore, if Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada, when he used to ask, anybody used to ask him anything, would you come to our house tomorrow? If Krishna so desires, I'll come. Because Krishna's prerogative is there. If he doesn't want, even if you want, it will not happen. So he said, please pray to Narasimha Deva. If you so desire, let our master stay in this world for some more time. So even not only he was directly praying to his guru, even as his disciple, pray to Narasimha Deva, if you so desire, let him stay because he has not finished the mission of his guru. That is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. This is a great example actually. It was because of this pure example that devotees became mad. They could see in his personality. Correct? Otherwise, Prabhupada said, I have not bribed anybody. Why is it even to this day? And then, when the moment came, the mission was accomplished, and he had 108 temples. At that moment, devotees took him to some hill station to recover his health. He was in a very, very bad health, now 82 years. So, I think near Delhi is what, Rishikesh? They took him to Rishikesh, I think. Rishikesh is, they say, pure air, some hilly area will rejuvenate him. Medicines were all over, nothing was working. Anyway, he used to hardly touch medicines. So then Prabhupada said that one day he called the disciples. I think I will leave my body now. Please take me back to Vrindavan. And the relationship between Guru and Shishya, when it is pure, it is stronger than family relationship. All started crying. So Prabhupada said, no, why are you crying? I finished my work. Over now. That is the meditation of a Guru. He lives to finish the work of his Guru. Otherwise, he does not want to live in this world. Prabhupada says that in Bhagavatam 1 purport also. Just like, previously there was an example. The wife could not live when the husband used to die. The sati was not forced, it was natural. And you see so many examples you see in Bhagavatam, always sati was there, correct? It was not forced. It was, she can't live. Because, the attachment used to be so intense. Why? Because wives are not going to school education. Husband was the guru for them. Gurukul only man was going. And they were married very early. Husband was even the guru for the wife. He was everything for the wife. And so much he used to be exalted in character that the attachment was very intense. Husband leaving the world means wife can't live now. That is much more painful for her than the fire. Fire was nothing. The fire of separation was more painful than this fire of the wood. She is voluntary. Later in India it was abolished. It was to be abolished. Forcefully they used to put. And many instances are there. They will tie, and when the fire starts, she will try to run. And anyway, it was good it was abolished. In fact, one of the things, many things in Kali Yuga which are not practical, which were previously there, one of the things is sati. Now Prabhupada says in the purport, where he is commenting on the Bhagavatam story of Puranjana, if you have read that. Puranjana is the story with Narada tells the Prachina Parishad. So there Prabhupada write in the purport, when there is the instance of sati there, Prabhupada said, yes, the disciple should die with the spiritual master. If he lives in this world, he should live only to fulfill the mission of the spiritual master. He cannot bear when the Guru dies. That is a real disciple. It is intolerable for him. In fact, it is said the greatest pain is separation from Krishna or his pure bhakta. Correct? We don't have an access to a pure bhakta. Suppose Narada comes to this world, correct? You develop a relationship. When Narada goes, you can't handle it. Because they are so pure. Separation is unimaginable for them. Even in the life of Lord Chaitanya, wherever Lord Chaitanya used to go to another place, his disciples at that place used to faint. Sometimes some of them used to go unconscious. They say there is no pain greater than separation from Krishna, Hari or Hari Bhaktas. And there is no greater joy in meeting the Lord or his devotees. Okay? So therefore, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi comes to that level. He is not living for any purpose other than fulfilling the mission of Krishna in this world. Krishna has a mission. This world is not created by accident. It is created with a plan. Krishna has a plan. And devotee life is dedicated to fulfill that plan. He is not breathing for any other purpose. That is the real bhakta of the Lord. He is living in this world for no other purpose. His only purpose is to fulfill the mission of Krishna in this. Every second he sees my time is not getting wasted. Why? In this world, in America they have this famous time is money. People are very busy. Life is very fast. Very, very fast. But time is money for self-gratification. But devotee of the Lord, he also sees his 1 second is not wasted because mission of the Lord is not fulfilled. Correct? The mission of the Lord is burning in his heart. And what is the greatest mission of the Lord? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains. What does it say? What is the shloka? Okay. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, nobody will be dear to me than he. Never in the future that person will come, never in the past that person was there who distribute the message of Gita to another person. So our whole life as devotees is to please Krishna. So if we can see that if I fulfill that, then my day is successful. End of the day is closed. Before the day closes, we should see whether I could be instrument in that. The message of Gita, maybe individually or collectively.